Creases Regret. Welcome to another video, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I get into today's video, we are inches away from 7K. So if you're new here, make sure you smash the button down below that says subscribe and welcome yourself into the Chosen Familia. Now, if you're a returning person, you know the drill. Give me a nice little thumbs up, jump in the comment section, because as I've always said, the conversation starts here and carries on down there. Now, into the subject matter. Where Season 5 will take Kreese, obviously, is in the slammer. He's going to be locked away from everything else and everyone else, and I think it's really going to allow him time to reflect on everything that he's done. And why this excites me so much is because Kreese has, ever since he came back into the fold in Season 2, he has been constantly manipulating people to his will, constantly bending things and the truth and turning people against each other. And, you know, he's manipulated Hawk, he manipulated Miguel a little bit, you know, he's not so much Tori. I think he's been a bit fair with Tori, and I think Tori is his weakness in that sense. And then, you know, Robbie, he's done a bit of manipulation to him, i.e. in the All Valley, but by and large, it's just in his own kind of twisted way. He definitely tried to manipulate Johnny in Season 2. He's tried to twist everything against Daniel, and all of this has now culminated in his own supposedly best friend suffering the brunt of Kreese's actions. And I link it all the way back to that scene, again, perfectly portrayed by Thomas Ian Griffith and well acted by Martin Cove as well. Fantastic performances from them both, especially the way Thomas doesn't even say any dialogue or anything, but in his facial expressions alone, you can tell that he is being placed right back into his younger self, and he's feeling all of the emotions and the fear that he felt as a rookie soldier in the jungles of Vietnam. Now, why this is important is Kreese pushed the buttons of someone that wouldn't take his, you know, and I excuse my French, wouldn't take his shit. And Silver is the one and only person who Kreese shouldn't have pissed off, because now Silver is going to go after Kreese with everything that he has, if Kreese gets out of jail, that is. But he'll do everything that he can to keep Kreese out of his way. And Silver isn't stupid. He knows that Kreese will try and find a way out. So there might be certain situations that Silver implements to keep Kreese at bay or keep him distracted as the season progresses. But the one thing I really want from Kreese this season, aside from the little potential civil war and the Cobra Kai, you know, feud of who really owns it, that could be something that, you know, with the focus being off Miyagi-Do, it could be a very Cobra Kai central season, and there's a lot of infighting in Cobra Kai of itself. There's a power struggle. But before Kreese gets out, the one thing I really want for Kreese is reflection. Now, I've talked about this a bit, but it's sort of like when Robbie ended up in Juvie in Season 3. One thing I really liked, and also Miguel when he was dealing with his coma issues, is Miguel and Robbie really thrived that season because they had their own individual journeys that were separate from everyone else. It was really focused on them and their character growth, and that's what I want for Kreese this season, but I want it to go all in. I really want Kreese to have a fulfilling arc this season, where maybe you don't actually see him much, but when you do, you start to reveal another layer, or you start to peel back a different bit of connective tissue that relates to Kreese's story arc that wasn't there before. And that's why I've titled this video Kreese's Regret, because I want us to really sort of see the regretful side of Kreese that we've already started to see. And it kicked off in the All Valley. As soon as he saw Tori in that situation, and that's what I love about Season 4 overall, is the perspective shift. He got the perspective of what he did to Johnny all those years ago. You know, in the fact that Johnny said to him, hey, I got second place. I didn't lose much, you know, I'm only second place, you know, let me off, you know. It's like, you're nothing, you lost, you're a loser. It plays exactly as he's staring at Tori, and it's almost like history could come full circle again, but this time it won't be him. He'll be looking at someone else doing it. I mean, hey, it's taken a while, better late than never, Kreese. Took you a good 30-odd years to work that out. I wouldn't be surprised if he says, oh, this is really a last chance to someone again. But I really feel like that shot of him in the police car at the end of the season, you know, the way the camera pans down and the way, you know, Martin Cove has this expression on his face of almost like, oh man, I've really screwed up bad. It's almost like I think we're going to see a more vulnerable Kreese than I think we've ever seen. He won't be too vulnerable. He's still John Kreese, but I think you're going to see a very vulnerable Kreese that we have not seen in past seasons, or you would have ever thought possible based on the original trilogy. I think Kreese this season is going to be very regretful of everything that he's done, and I think it's going to culminate in a lot of scenes where he's sat in isolation by himself with his thoughts, because Kreese has always been driven by his mission. And when he's on his mission, he doesn't have time to really reflect and focus on what he's doing or what he has done, because he's focused on his end goal. It reminds me of in Season 2, when he's at the homeless shelter, when him and Johnny share that exchange, and he's like, you know, I don't think I can ever find redemption, or I feel like a broken man. There's a lot to that. There is a lot to that. That it's not just redemption in the aspect of redeeming in the eyes of the audience, but redemption in that he has a second chance to make right what he done wrong. You know, as Silver said to him, you had the entire valley in the palm of your hand, and you blew it. You know, the power of the sun in the palm of my... sorry, it's a nice little Spider-Man reference. But I think, you know, this season is absolutely integral. And I think that's why a lot of people like these kind of seasons, because they're about fallout. They're about how do we deal and process with the events that have just happened to go forward, to go from here. And the final episode of Season 4 is called The Rise. So I think, you know, Season 4 is going to be just that for every character. You will see a lot of characters alone and in isolation. And I think there could be a parallel between Miguel and Kreese. I think Miguel and Kreese might have a lot of that alone time across the season, where you just see, for example, Miguel by himself reflecting on his thoughts, and then you see Kreese inside the slammer. Obviously, he's going to get a prison fight, like, you know, seeing him doing wall runs. Like, imagine it's like a Fast and Furious 8 style prison fight with Kreese. I mean, hey, I'm not against it. It would be pretty dope to see. But I think, you know, having Kreese in such a vulnerable position where we can really allow us to immerse ourselves within the character, and really allow Martin Kove to really flex his acting chops, because he's really good. And in Season 2, he had everyone convinced up until that smile at the end of the first episode. So I think, you know, allowing that and taking that breathing room to really flesh this out, Kreese could have probably one of the best arcs next season. And it's only made possible by the last 4 seasons of detail. And this is why a plan is so integral, is even though you may change things along the way, having a plan makes something like Kreese having some downtime in a season for once feel so much more earned, because Kreese isn't fighting or he's on mission. It's more of him, and we get to really analyze who Kreese is, and it'll be a tipping point of where Kreese is starting to reflect on everything that he's done and processing that all the manipulation and games that he's played with people, he's done it with his own best friend. Like, who treats your best friend like that? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, and then that's what's going to catch up to him. No doubt you will see scenes of Tori visiting him while he's in the slammer, and he'll say, listen, keep an eye on Terry for me, be an inside man, kind of double agent kind of thing. And that's where the spy theory actually holds some weight for once, because there's a real story reason for it to exist. But yeah, I just think this season we can really delve into the vulnerability of Kreese like never before. We can really see a lot of that stuff that was touched upon in Season 2 really come full circle in Season 5, and I can't wait for it. Guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. Let me know what you thought of this video. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. We are on the way to 7K, and, you know, I'm steadily getting back to form. Gaming streams are regular. Chosen lives are going to start coming back. Kings of Pop Culture is definitely going to come back as well. So, lots of good stuff coming your way. Guys and girls, I'll see you in the comment section down below. And karate is not a phase. It's a way of life.